city of Philly, where the birds take flight. Eagle swag on the rise each and every night. Tone and Marcus got the scoop ready to ignite. From the lanes of South Street to the Broad Street lights. Dashing like a running back, hitting every play. Flying guys in the zone, never led astray. Talking touchdowns, talking game day. Huddle around the mic, hear what they gotta say. I like an eagle soaring in the sky. Tone and Marcus always standing by. Bringing their heat, call it do or die. Philly squad, hear the battle cry. Fly like an eagle soaring in the sky. Tone and Marcus always standing by. Bringing their heat, call it do or die. Philly squad, hear the battle cry.
There we go. We good. We good. Do me a favor and give me a thumbs up if the sound is good, because it was muted on YouTube and my microphone was muted. That's my bad. That's my mistake. I do the Candy. I do that a lot. I do that a lot. It's just I get into it and I totally forget. My bad. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate you. So I got to go all the stuff I just said. But let me just get with all of the people first. Quentin Fields, you were first out the limo, my guy. Nina Alston, Little G, Tiffany, as usual. Thank you for the heads up for the muted. Who else? Josh Brown, Delco Green, everybody. Candy, I appreciate you. I'm not perfect. So that's why I have friends, man. Check me. Let me know. Let me know. That's why we a team. You know what I'm saying? But as I was saying, under mute, Tone is not with us today. Tone is on holiday. I'm gonna say it like they say it in the UK. He's on a holiday. He's taking some time with his family, with his wife, and they are doing some things, taking some personal time, man. And Tone, if you're listening, brother, Enjoy it. I will take your advice and I will try to go see Fantastic Four in IMAX. So, but I am going to hold it down nonetheless. And we are, as you saw in the intro, it said the Eagles preseason show. We are not in, it said the Eagles off-season show. We are not in off-season. We are in preseason right now. So I got to fix that. We are in preseason and we are getting ready to rock and roll. You hear all the news coming out all across the league. Heck, you even had a couple injuries, man. I still haven't heard anything about Justin Fields up in New York. He left with a foot injury, so it's already starting. It's already kicking up. Everybody's already. I put in my. I already put out my FYI about people getting a little too hyped too fast. That happens every year. That is going to happen every year. I do that kind of in jest, but I know what it means. Everybody is just so hyped to see some football, some real football, and then you get uber hype. Everything is like extra. You know what I mean? If your quarterback throws a 5-yard out to a running back, all of a sudden he's dropping dimes, and it's like, just relax. Just relax. If it's bad, it's way too bad. If it's good, it's way too good. You got to keep it in the middle. Just realize you're going against the same players you're going to see for the next 3 weeks. And wait till you get to those joint practices, because that's really going to tell you something, man. So it's a lot of stuff going on around the league. You got Coach Prime going everywhere. You got the whole situation with Shador with the Browns. You got us down here in Philadelphia making waves. They still talking about Jalen Hurts. They can't stop talking about Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts has become the aura magnet for the media. He has become the aura magnet for the media. You're absolutely right, Tiff. Pump them brakes. You already know how I do. Got to pump them brakes with the excitement. But Jalen Hurts has become the media magnet. If you want a lot of traffic to your site or to your show, just not put Jalen Hurts on the quarterback list. That's what you got to do. Come up with your top 10 and make Jalen Hurts number 11, and you'll get 1 million damn views. That's what everybody talking about. I even thought about doing that, and it's like, come on, man. Come on. But everybody got their opinions. Y'all know my favorite motto: opinions are like assholes. Everybody got one. So it is what it is, man. Everybody likes to move the goalpost. Everybody wants their quarterback to win the Super Bowl. But based on the feedback you get from the media and a lot of these media heads, they would just rather have the quarterback that can throw 4,000 yards in the season, or I'm sorry, 4,000 yards in the season, and not worry about the winning aspect of it. They so worried about it's only happening because he's got a great team and all of this and all of that. And it's like, y'all got to be kidding me. When did putting together a great team work against you? When did that happen? Because if that's the case, are you going to take away the credit from Troy Aikman? You know what I mean? Are you going to take some of those Super Bowls away from Tom Brady because of the teams that he had? And it just doesn't make any sense. So they moved the goalpost. They apply it when they want to apply it. They don't when they don't. So it's very biased. It's very opinionated. It's very subjective. But at the end of the day, y'all know what I say, man. I can't really hear the noise because shining the Eagles Super Bowl ring with the wings popping out, that creates too much white noise and you just can't hear the nonsense. That's how I look at it. Just keep polishing that ring and anytime anybody got something bad to say, just pop them wings out. That's all you got to do. If you in the chat and you got somebody from the Cowboys or the Commanders or the Giants talking smack, all you got to do is just get that picture of the Super Bowl ring with the wings out and just make your comment, pop them wings out, and it'll just shut them all up. Shut them all up. So all I know is people that talk like that, when you get into those spaces and then they will still want to try to dig at the Eagles. I just remember all of those times that you get in a conversation with Cowboys fans, with Commanders fans, with heck, Oakland. You name any team that had previously won Super Bowls. And I'm saying this before 2017 happened. Any team that won Super Bowls, Now, whether we beat them that calendar year or whatever the situation is, we had a great player, we had a Pro Bowler that beasted on them, whatever it was. The end all would be, well, talk to me when you want a ring. Talk to me when y'all get a Super Bowl. Now we do. And then now they push the goalposts. Well, you only won because you had a super team. Well, what's the point of playing? Ain't that what everybody trying to do? How come we can do it, but can't nobody else do it? How come we get all of these great young players under the cap and can't nobody else do it? So we must be doing something right. Howie Roseman must be doing something right. Jeffrey Lurie must be doing something right. Jalen Hurts must be doing something right. Because y'all know if Jalen Hurts would have lost that game, never would have heard the end of it. Yeah, he's good, but just not good enough. Can't get over the hump. And they would have brought everything under the sun in about Jalen Hurts. But you know what? He got it done. He outplayed the best of the best twice. Not once, twice. And they still mad about it. Still mad about it. And if you watch the news now, it's so funny because there'll always be somebody on the panel that is pro Jalen Hurts, and it'll always be somebody on the panel that's con Jalen Hurts. You know, I saw what's the dude that got catfish that's on Good Morning Football now? Is that Manti Te'o? And I heard what he said the other day, and it was like, I just don't see it. But this is still Nick Sirianni's offense, and I don't know what Jalen Hurts. And I'm like, some people ain't never satisfied, and you ain't gonna never satisfy them. So, you know what my thing is like you are not gonna satisfy everybody. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's gonna always have something to say at the end of the day. Everybody gonna have something to say. So I look at it from the standpoint of when I'm watching film and I'm going over, and y'all know me, I'll be the biggest Jalen Hurts fan, but I'll be critical if his game deserves it. If the film shows that he was lacking in some areas, so be it. You can still love a player and say, man, you had a horrible game. You can still do that because there's truth in that. Watch the film. So, but they love moving the goalpost though. They love moving the goalpost. When he's doing what nobody expected him to do, the goalpost gets moved. When he's not, well, he wasn't that good anyways. So it's always funny. It's always funny. The chat is duplicating the comments. Huh. I don't know. I don't know what that is, Tiff. Everything looks good on my end. Not sure what that is. I don't use they got the thing now where you can put the chat on screen. I really don't use that often. I got to rearrange the board a little bit, but I'd rather not. But in any case, yeah. And if y'all got any questions, put it in the chat. Definitely put it in the chat. So, but in any case, let's get on down. We already talked about the injuries. I know I'm about to go and get more into the injuries because I always like to look at what's going on across the league because that definitely has an impact on what we do, what we don't do, what everybody's going to look like. So you got to take that into consideration. Drew, we are the gold standard of the NFC. Absolutely, NFC East. The NFC East goes down 95, goes through Philadelphia. Don't get it twisted. So, yeah, Dallas is a straight clown show. Let me tell you how crazy Dallas is right now. Let me just throw this out. By the way, do you see the chat on screen? Let me know if you like that or don't like it. I'm just messing around with stuff right now. So, Nene, we're gonna get into that. I see your question. We're gonna get into that. We definitely gonna get into that. But the overall perception of Dallas, to me, looks like Jerry Jones is losing control, losing his faculties because he's doing stuff that makes no damn sense. and it's unnecessary. And I don't want to say he's getting too old because he's smart enough to still get in front of a camera. You just don't never know what the hell he's going to say. And some of the stuff that he's saying doesn't make sense. So naturally, at his age, you're going to think of like, maybe you need to pass that baton to Steven before you do something you'll regret. Before you say something you'll regret. So I don't know. Anytime you talking bad about the best player on the team, I don't understand that. Whether you like Micah Parsons or not, Micah Parsons is the best player on the team. That's not the guy you want to piss off. That's the guy. That's the guy you don't need to poke. Don't poke that bear. But yet and still he does it. I don't get that. I don't get that. And what I was going to say was, anytime, like you look at the Dallas as they exist right now, anytime you go back and you look at Barry Switzer, and Barry Switzer had a more normal tenure with the Dallas Cowboys than what's going on now, that's a problem. That is not good. That is not good at all. So I don't get that. So, but in any case, that's enough about the Cowboys. We can keep that moving. Delco says, I'm super impressed with each player training camp interview, all about team unity. Yeah, meanwhile, yeah. Everybody's trying to put their best foot forward. And the one thing I like about what Philadelphia is doing, everybody is mindful of that. Everybody is very mindful of what they or how they come across in front of the camera. That makes a big difference, because now you're looking at a situation where, like you said earlier, we're the gold standard, but what comes with that is a level of professionalism that people see outside of NovaCare. So now, just like the very same media crush that used to come every time something bad would happen at the vet or in the link, every time a fight would happen in the stands, everybody would automatically come to Philadelphia. Philadelphia fans are horrible, blah, blah, blah. I remember a couple years ago when Fred Warner's wife said what she said, and it's like, can't win for losing. And then I'll never forget, I wish that dude, I wish I could find that video. The dude from San Francisco, he was a 49ers fan, and he basically laid it on the line. He was like, if you don't have the skin to go into Philadelphia, don't go into Philadelphia. If you can't take it as much as you dish it, don't go to Philadelphia. Like, he laid it on the line, and I was like, man, respect to that dude, because he understood the assignment. He walked into Philadelphia talking mad shit, but he understood the environment that he was in, and he was the same type of fan, except his team was the 49ers, and he laid it. I got to find that video because that was phenomenal. Phenomenal. But that was, what, 3 years ago now? And the outlook, the fans still get that, understandably so, and rightfully so. But as far as the team, the Eagles have now become a destination spot for aging players, ring chasers. You trying to shut it down, and you want to get one more ring before you get out of here. And Dominican Sue, you was a year too early, bro. So, sometimes you get that. Yeah, I saw that, Drew. That kid got some guts, or his father got some guts letting his kid wear that, because people are nasty, man. People are nasty. Let me see. What's your take on the potential new stadium? Good question, man. Honestly, I think it's going to happen. If you got the money, if your franchise has got the money, to me, it's a no-brainer, because we get caught in the This is our city. We're an outdoor city. The benefit of playing in the snow and in the elements. You have a decided advantage over West Coast teams when they come. Obviously, that didn't work out when we played the Rams and we played in the snow, but we ended up coming out. But that was a good game. But I think it's bound to happen. Um, you open yourself up to a lot more opportunities when weather is not a factor anymore. How many events can you have at the link if weather is not an option or weather is not a hindrance? So it doesn't matter if it's raining, if it's snowing, if it's doesn't matter what's going on outside. If you want to have something on the inside, you can still get it done. And that opens yourself up to a lot of opportunities for teams, events, concerts, whatever, any time of the year. And that's the most important thing. You want to be able to do that any time of the year. And I think um, Jeffrey Lurie is looking at that. If we do get a new stadium, a dome stadium, I think it'll be something that's retractable where you can't let the elements in, but you can only let the elements in if it benefits us. Or when's the only time you pop the top? You pop the top when the weather's good outside. If it's snowing, if it's raining, if it's whatever, you close it. So even that advantage, the advantage of playing in cold weather, you kind of lose it. You know, what is the threshold? What is the threshold? Is it do you let's just assume hypothetically we got a dome that you can retract the roof, right? So what's the threshold of when you close the dome? If it's 40 degrees or less, you close it. Where does the benefit of playing in cold weather come back into play? How do you let that happen? Or let it, or close those opportunities? Some people believe that when you play football, you want the best track possible and let the best team win on the best track. You don't want any advantage because it's cold and they're not used to playing in cold weather, or somebody from Oakland or Las Vegas is not used to playing in the snow, or like things like that. That used to be an advantage, and we are out of that era now because the technology exists and we can build a stadium where you close the roof. So I honestly think it's a no-brainer, especially when you're looking at how many things are trying to come to the States. World Cup soccer, you got you're going to have an NFL or a professional flag football league soon. They're going to have, want to play somewhere, and just like it just again, it opens you up to a lot of opportunities. So, and a lot of money. Don't get it twisted. So, so we'll see. Um, but yeah, it's a business. It's a business, Tiff. Absolutely, absolutely. So, um, we got to get out of our feelings on that one. You know what? I look at it from this standpoint. They said it was the same type of reaction. Different. It's different, but the same. We had the same type of reaction when this happened. Remember this? When the Eagles word mark came out, and everybody was used to the old Eagles, like the Eagles like Jalen got in the middle of his jersey, and then we went to the word mark, and I was like, as a graphic designer that does this for a living, I like the old logo, but I understand this logo because that Eagles logo, this word mark, is so much easier to read. That's what it comes down to. That is easy to read. And that's what it was all about. And now, don't nobody give a damn about that. Nobody cares about the word logo anymore. So it you get used to it. And I'm relating that with the stadium is like, we don't want it now because we have an affinity for the link. We got an affinity for um, our weather. We grew up with our weather, with our East Coast, with our attitude, and it's changing. And you're gonna always have resistance to change. So ain't nothing you can do about it. So what else did I want to talk about? Let me see. Jalen had a not so good day the other day. That's what everybody said. They said he struggles. Nobody really struggles in camp. You're trying to figure things out. So if Jalen Hurts is throwing picks or not completing passes, you got to understand the context. You got to understand what they're trying to do. They might be trying some new things. He might be trying to do some new things, roll out a different way, try things from a different formation. You got different personnel in there, so that really doesn't bother me as much. Um, so I don't get too. I don't care about that too much. That's what camp is for. Camp is for you're supposed to have your bad days in camp. That's exactly what it's for. So, take that with a grain of salt. It'll he gonna have some good days too. And people that keep stats in camp, why? I wouldn't do it, but I understand it. Everybody wants every little stitch piece, thread of information that they can get, one way or the other. They want to tell you suck, or they want to act like you the greatest thing since sliced bread. So, um, it is what it is. Yeah, Tiff, I'm with you. Not to the well, I agree, but with an asterisk. What I care about is training camp will let you see who reported in shape. Look at Jordan Davis. Um, Everybody, for instance, we were talking about Keely Ringo. You've seen he's had some struggles early, and it's like you're not struggling early. You're working on some new things. You're going up against AJ Brown. You're gonna win some, but most of them you're gonna lose. Let's be real. And AJ Brown is specifically working with Keely Ringo, and I guarantee you that's going to turn around when you do start putting pads on, and you just not running in shells, and you can get a little contact and get some hands on people. And he's learning. So at the end of the day, when Keely Ringo gets more snaps, that's what we're looking for. That's what we're looking for. Um, the one thing, Kevin Patullo, him and Jalen, that's the one thing everybody was looking at, will look at, because that is another. I had a graphic up, I think it was on my Twitter feed. This is Jalen Hurts' 13th coach since college. 13th offensive coach. And when you talk about people moving the goalposts, this is the one thing I want to say about Jalen Hurts. Whoever your favorite, to all of them people talking shit on Jalen Hurts, I want to see you take whoever your favorite quarterback is. Is it Stafford? If it's Joe Burrow? Is it Lamar? Is it Mahomes? Whoever it is, I want you to take that quarterback and give them 5 different offensive coordinators. Give them 3 or 4 different systems and see how they do. This kid has had 13 different coaches from college to the pros. 13. And he's been to the Super Bowl twice and was the best quarterback in the Super Bowl twice. So if people want to act like that doesn't matter, okay. I remember Josh Allen got his coach fired. So how did that happen? I remember that. I believe it was Matt Canada got fired after Josh Allen had a week where he threw 3 picks. And I'm like, y'all didn't work on that in practice. He didn't coach you to throw 3 picks. Now, if you go back and look at film and y'all had some disagreements on the scheme and it turned out that you were wrong or whatever the situation is. But I know for a fact the coach is not going to coach you to throw picks. And then he ended up getting promoted to fan. Same thing with the dude in Pittsburgh. I think it was Matt Canada. I might be getting it mixed up. Matt Canada may have been in Pittsburgh. I can't remember. So it is what it is. There's a reason why I say Jalen's number 2. You talking about Jalen Hurts being the number 2 quarterback I would agree with that because guess what? Patrick Mahomes still went to 3 straight Super Bowls and won 2 of them. Like, I'm not forgetting that fact. Patrick Holmes is still a number one. But just look at all of those passing yards at home on the couch watching the playoffs. Are all of those passing yards over in Cancun? They ain't playing. So guess what? How many of these quarterbacks throwing for all of them yards and they sniffing the playoffs? But they got a great arm. Everybody want the optics. They don't want the substance. They just want the optics. They just want to look good. Dory Jackson said Ringo is so athletically gifted that he can wake up and run a 4.2 on some days. Yes, I went back. I did this over the summer. I think we were talking about it, and I remember going back and looking at his combine 40 time, and I was like, huh, did not realize A, he was that big, and B, he was that fast. So all Keely Ringo needs is snaps. And let me tell you something. If we can deal with Avante Maddox and his kind of up and down, now don't get me wrong, Avante Maddox, when it was time to play, he played. He was an aggressive DB. You knew what you got. I had no doubt that he was going, make some plays, but he's risky. He gambled. You win some and you lose some. But if we can take that from Avante Maddox, I can accept whatever Keely Ringo's gonna give me because we've been there before. And me personally, I think Keely Ringo might end up to be better than Avante Maddox. So people have a tendency to always remember the negative. They want to remember when Avante Maddox was a little bit too aggressive and he let people get behind him, which is true. But Avante Maddox made some damn good plays too, some crunch time plays. So let's not forget that as well. There's a reason why he plays so much with the Eagles. He wasn't a scrub, far from it. So you win some, you lose some. And the one thing that people always forget, the other guys on the other side of the field get paid too. You got to remember that. You're not going to beast on everybody. You're not going to shut down everybody. It's impossible. The league is too good. So you take what you can get and you just hope you stack more good days than you do bad days. And I think we did with Avante Maddox. It started trending down towards the end. The last year or two, he was always hurt and something like that. But he had more good days than bad days in my book. So I'm hoping Keely Ringo can step that up to the next level. He's got the size, he's got the speed. Right now, he just got to get the experience. And I think we are in a perfect situation with that young secondary for him to step up and really take his place. I think he's going to do that. Tiff, I did not see that. Jalen said about how people wanted him to throw and it didn't work for him. What's the context? What's the context of him, people wanting him to throw? Wanting him to throw more? I remember in 2023, when the bottom fell out, I remember it was like 4 or 5 games left. And for me, I was like, I'm thinking like I really want Jalen Hurts to get I really want people to start giving him his flowers. And I knew it had to be like 4 or 5 games left, maybe more. All he had to do was average like 250 yards a game passing, and he would have surpassed 4,000 yards passing. And it was like the last, maybe it was the last 4 games or whatever, and it was just like it was horrible. It was like the whole bottom fell out. So yeah, I have to go back and see what that context was, Tiff. Um, all I wanted him to do here's what you do, and this is me, the coach. This is what you tell your players. And as a coach, you got to understand your personnel. As a coach, you got to be a psychologist. You got to be a psychiatrist. You got to understand what's going on. You should be able to. I used to say this when I was at Apple, because Apple was a big team family thing, and I used to say, um, and this applies to whether you work in retail, the people on your team. You want to be in tune with the people on your team to such a degree that if one of my teammates from Apple used to come into the store for work, I could immediately look at them as like, "You good?" You know how you see people that you real tight with, and they just got a look about them or a vibe about them, and immediately you can detect something is off. You good? Everything all right? You need to take a minute. Like you immediately see it. The average person wouldn't see it. That's how in tune you have to be with your squad. I think Nick Sirianni has that gift. You can see things going on. I think Jalen Hurts has that gift. Most of the people on that offense, not most of them, a lot of people on our offense have that gift where you are so in tune with everybody on your squad, everybody in that circle, that all nonverbal. It's nonverbal. Soon as you walk through the door, I can look at you and immediately I'll know. You good? That's the type of relationship you got to have with your squad. And I believe we, the Eagles, are there. That is a very difficult thing to do. You have it in clusters, but it is very difficult for a whole team to operate like that because you have so much turnover and so many people coming in and coming out, different things like that. So you got to be aware of that, and you just got to be in tune and got to have good relationships with everybody around you. It is not a mistake. And I caught this, and maybe people didn't really understand how important it was. I saw it, and I immediately knew what was going on. In the Super Bowl, at the end of the Super Bowl, when Devontae Smith went to Jalen Hurts and was like, "Hey, man, like, I love you, man. Like, you understand that there was some things behind that statement. There was some scenarios, there were some situations behind that statement. Because if you heard it, you knew Devontae said it, and like he was emotional about it. Go back and watch it. He was emotional about it. And that don't just come from nowhere. You know what I'm saying? That comes from an experience. That comes from going through something with somebody and coming out the other side. And when you come out the other side, you find you are exactly where you wanted to be in the first place. That is not a mistake. And for him to come to Jalen like he did, as emotional as he did, and Jalen recognized it, it's been a ride. Ain't that what he said? It's been a ride. Just that statement alone, the experience, the situations, the drama, everything that they have been through, the stuff that people had no earthly idea even existed. To be able to go through that with your teammates and come out the other side and be exactly where you wanted to be since day one. Do you understand how hard that is to do? And all of them people out there talking all of that shit about Jalen Hurts. He's all right. He had the team. Shut up. Cam, shut up. Manti, shut up. Anybody else, shut up. You don't understand it. You don't understand it. Cam Newton, you were Superman. You were one of the best to ever do it until you got to the big game. And you got to acknowledge that. Jalen Hurts got to that point and got past it, got over the hump, got back and got over the hump. You lost and never got back. He lost, got back, and got over the hump against the best of the best. It is what it is. There's a reason for that. And I always remember that, man. I always been in a situation. If you've never won a championship, and I don't care at what level, and I'm talking about let's be reasonable. Put it in the context. If you ever won a championship in high school, if you ever won a state championship, I won a state championship in high school. Me and all my siblings are state champions. I'm a football state champion. My twin sister is a basketball state champion. My big sister is a track and field state champion. So I understand where that comes from. I understand the sacrifice and the shit that you got to do that people don't see. And that's the stuff when the media heads talk, they talk. And I'm like, man, y'all can miss me with that. Y'all can miss me with that. He's that dude. He's that dude. And as far as Kevin Patullo, another coach. But at least this coach has been around him for the last 4 years. Or how old is 4 years? Yeah, 4. This will be the 5th year because Nick Sirianni brought him from Indianapolis, from the Colts. So he's been there with Jalen since day one. So this is not a new voice. This is not a new voice. So hopefully that'll help a little bit. So listen, nerves, whatever you want to call it. Whatever you want to call it. I know there is a point in from the kickoff to midway through the first quarter is when you settle down. There's a point midway through the first quarter when everybody settles down. And then you can then you kind of the jitters are gone. You kind of settle in. And if Cam couldn't do that till it was too late, so be it. That's the way it goes sometimes. That's the way it goes sometimes. Look at the game. Look at the game that Atlanta lost all them years ago when they had a 24-3 lead at halftime, and they ended up losing to the Patriots. They had like a 3-touchdown lead at half, and they lost. Did they take their foot off the gas? What was it? What was it? Chris 3K, this ain't the one, man. We're not gonna have a hot mic on this show, dog. I wish we could, but this is normally me and Tone. So I'm gonna keep the format tight the way we do it. But I will be doing that as we get more into Eagle season. So stay with me, man. You know how we do. I appreciate you though. But yeah, Cam was whatever it was. If he was nervous, I don't care what the reason was. It happened. Ain't no excuses. Ain't no excuses. I heard what I heard what Ryan Clark said when he talked about excuses. Excuses. This is how we say it. Ryan Clark is a kappa. He's a noob. I'm an alpha. But we all learn the same information. The way we said it was, excuses are tools of the incompetent that build monuments toward nothing. Those who specialize in them seldom accomplish anything but nothing. That's how we said it. That's how we learned it. I always remember excuses, and I always remember Invictus. What do you want from me? You know what I mean? But that's true. They're excuses. Don't tell me why you didn't win it. You had every opportunity. You was to your point, Cam, you were the man that year. You took an average squad to the Super Bowl. You were the league MVP. You were that dude, but in the biggest game, you fell short. You fell short. You were 18 for 41 with 3 turnovers. It is what it is. Because if Jalen Hurts would have performed like you did in the Super Bowl, they would be giving him the same type of business that you got. And then on top of that, the whole thing with the press conference and you were a sore loser and all of that type of stuff. We understand that. Nobody likes to lose. And I ain't necessarily mad at how you reacted. But if you're going to do like that, because I agree with you. Don't nobody like to be a loser. Nobody likes to lose. So I understand why you're feeling some kind of way. But when you do that, you got to accept the blowback. Comes with the territory. That comes with being a professional. So, you know, to me, the best quarterback is the one that wins the game. Trent Dilfer, was he the best quarterback to win the game when he won? He was that day. You had to throw the ball to somebody. What would have happened if Trent Dilfer would have thrown like 3 picks in that game, in the Super Bowl that he won? Then what were they going to say? You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Everybody got different excuses, man. The whole situation with Cam, is it blown out of proportion? Absolutely. But he initiated it because he was flip-flopping. Everybody be flip-flopping. And that's why I say the whole situation with it, 2 people that, regardless of what you say, it's like you aura chasing. Right now, Jalen Hurts and Caitlin Clark. Those 2 names, whether you one side or the other, you're going to get traffic about it. You're going to get comments and opinions and all of that type of stuff. But Jalen Hurts has won the title, and people still move the goalposts. So it is what it is. Now let me go home for a minute. When I say home, let me talk about my running backs. Talk about my running backs. Saquon, the only thing you need to do, brother, is stay healthy. That's all you got to do. Offensive line, they're going to do what they do. All you got to do is stay healthy. You know they're coming for you. You know they're going to try to stop you. But now if they try to stop you, they're going to be a little bit wiser because one of the best defensive coaches in the game got exposed. And I remember me and Tone talk about that. I was like, you can bring an extra man up in the box to stop Saquon if you want to. And then you can leave Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown on an island, one-on-one. Y'all go ahead and do that if you want to. And guess what they did? They brought that extra man up in the box. Y'all seen that highlight when Jalen did like this? Looked out over at 8. Hey, man, click, click. Killed him. Killed him. Our offense is such that every decision you make is a gamble. You gonna bring somebody up? You gonna stop Saquon? What about AJ? You gonna stop AJ? What about Devontae? You gonna stop Devontae? What about Dallas? You gonna stop Dallas? What about Jalen? You got to pick your poison, man. And if you are a defense, you really don't have any good options. You really don't have good options. And Spagnuolo is one of the best in the business. One of the best in the business. And he couldn't figure it out. He couldn't stop it. And Jalen Hurts did what everybody thought he couldn't do. He beat you in the air. And not only, he ain't dink and dunk you. He ain't dink and dunk you. He put the ball up in the air into the end zone. He should have had 3 touchdowns. He should have had 3 touchdowns. If what was that? The one they scored, but he went down. What's my number 3 receiver? You had AJ going across, then you had Devontae in the dagger, but the first one was Jahan Dotson. Jahan Dotson down the right side. I thought if Jahan Dotson gets his leg up in the air a half a yard earlier, he scores. And we don't have to do the tush push in there. Yep, Tiff. Jahan Dotson. And don't get it twisted. Do not get it twisted. Jahan Dotson's going to be better now than he was last year. So, yeah, Tiff. I did that last season before. That was my little campaign to get Eric Allen in the Hall of Fame. So I would always put that in the videos. And then, of course, he gets voted in. So Eric Allen is the first teammate I have had to get inducted in the Hall of Fame. And I thought that was cool. I take that back. Technically, it's the second because James Lofton was a member of the Eagles when I was there for a hot minute. Um, but Eric Allen is somebody like I have memories with. Like Eric Allen, I could tell you stories about Eric Allen in camp and some of the stuff that we did in camp. So for me, Eric Allen means more because of that. There was times where I would talk to Eric Allen and some things that we did at 2:00 in the morning up at Westchester in the dorm. You know, I've told that story before. Eric Allen came to camp and had like 3 or 4 Tyco tracks in one box, and we moved all the stuff out of the common room, and we set up this huge Tyco race car track, and that's where we keep all of the rookies in the dorms and from going out and doing something stupid. That's what will keep you in house. There was a Westchester Mall. They had a little place up there where you could buy now mind you, this is the 1993. You probably can't find this no more unless you find it online. But it was we could go up to the local mall and buy the little Tyco cars. So everybody went up, bought their Tyco cars, their favorite driver, their favorite NASCAR driver, whatever. And we would race the Tyco track till 2 and 3 in the morning. But we wasn't going out, we wasn't going to bars, all of that stuff. Smart. So great memories with Eric Allen, man. So proud that he made the Hall of Fame, deservedly so. Should have been in there 10 years ago, if you ask me. So 4.3 fullback van, super and loading. We'll see, man. We'll see, man. The running back position is going extinct, man. Everything is a hybrid these days. There's no fullbacks, only hybrid tight ends is how I see it. So it depends on how they use them. Hybrid tight ends or very athletic linebackers. So I ain't mad at it. What do you think about people wanting Ringo out because of a couple of catches allowed this week? Listen, this is what camp is for. This is what camp is for. And the same way people get overzealous about a 5-yard pass to a running back is the same way people get overzealous about, he got burned, get him out of there, he's not good enough, blah, blah, blah. This is camp. This is where you're supposed to make the mistakes. This is where you're supposed to make the mistakes. How many times have you heard this? Yeah, such and such, he ain't getting it done. He was good in camp, but when the regular season started, it just didn't happen. How many times have we said that? So don't get too caught up in what you see in camp. When you want to watch camp, this is when you really want to pay attention to camp, is when you get into the joint practices. That's when you pay attention. Now, if Keely Ringo was getting just burnt toasted in a joint practice, that means more to me. That means more to me. How do you perform against somebody else? I'm not worried about the second day of practice. Are you kidding me? I'm not worried about that. And you shouldn't be either. But I understand it. Again, for the same reason people will a 10-yard out turns into throwing dimes. My quarterback was throwing dimes. Same thing with Jackson Dart. Everybody was so bent out of shape with the whole Jackson Dart, Shedeur Sanders thing. And now Jackson Dart not having a good start. And of course, the first pass he throws gets hit for a pick six. And that's all you see. And I'm sure he's thrown some complete passes. But the only thing everybody's talking about is his first pass going for a pick six. You never get a second chance to make a first impression, right? That's how things go. That's how things go. It is what it is. So, but back to the point I was trying to make with Saquon, just stay healthy, bro. That's all you got to do. We got you a backup. We got you a legit backup. AJ Dillon is the real deal. Quadzilla is, I like him. For all the reports that I've heard thus far, he looks good. He looks fast. He's got a chip on his shoulder. He doesn't want to be a injury casualty. He wants to come in and put it down. I know, Tiff, I did not forget about Shipley. I did not forget about Shipley. But let's be honest. Shipley's only a second-year player. I would rather have the experience, the size, and the speed. I would take AJ Dillon because I know AJ Dillon's going to move a pile. Do you understand what that means? Do you understand what that means? Saquon goes off the field, and you got AJ Dillon coming at your neck. Do you know how we are going to wear down linebackers and defensive backs with those two powerhouses back there? Not to mention, if you got a pulling guard coming through, let's not forget how good our offensive line is. We can't forget that. And now you got two Quadzillas coming through. You got Saquad and Quadzilla. You got two of the biggest pair of quads in the NFL in the same backfield. And one of them just rushed for 2,000 plus yards. Are you kidding me? Shipley will get his shot, but AJ Dillon is who I'm looking at. Because if for whatever reason Saquon is not in there, guess who can get you a 3rd and 1? Guess who can get you a 3rd and 2? That dude is big and fast and strong. Arguably, he got bigger quads than Saquon and is a little bit stronger lower body than Saquon. Arguably, I haven't seen it for myself, but I'm saying if you got somebody that's even in that conversation, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So, think of the difference. Think of the difference between when Saquon used to come off the field last year. Now when Saquon comes off the field, who you got to worry about? Like, that's a 1-2 combination that's just going to keep battering you. That's a straight jab to the nose that's just going to keep hitting you. And as soon as you recover, you got another one coming. So I don't mind that at all. I don't mind that at all. So, you know what? Question marks. I don't know who this is, but we'll just call you question marks. I don't worry about that because here's the deal. Jeff Stoutland is the best in the business. Point, period, end of paragraph, full stop. Jeff Stoutland just took Mekhi Becton, who was considered a bust in New York at tackle, moved a 6'7" offensive tackle to guard, and had him play at a Pro Bowl level and helped us get to the Super Bowl. Jeff Stoutland can do no wrong. Jeff Stoutland has my complete and utter trust. I can't think of, and I'm sure there are, but I can't think of one player that Jeff Stoutland has coached that didn't end up a better player. And I don't see why Tyler Steen is going to be any different. If Tyler Steen is not up to snuff, whoever's in there will be doing the job. I'll leave it like that. I got full confidence in that situation, whichever way they go. Whichever way they go. After what I saw this past year with that Rams game and Landon Dickerson and Tyler Jurgens, both of them banding together and battling injury and getting the job done, and to be able to move from guard to center and to have your hurt center with a jacked up back to be able to come in and back up the guy that's replacing you because you was hurt, to do that in a playoff game. Jeff Stoutland is platinum. Jeff Stoutland is platinum. Untouchable. Everything he's done has been phenomenal. Out of all the positions and all the coaches in the league, we got two of the best where we need them the most, offensive line and defensive coordinator. And we got two of the best, hands down. And Jeff Stoutland is unquestionably, it is not an argument. He is the best offensive line coach in the NFL. Other people can argue about Vic Fangio. Other defenses might be better or whatever. He's one of the best. Is he the best? You can argue that. Jeff Stoutland cannot be argued about who is the best offensive line coach in the NFL. And we got him. So anybody on our offensive line, I don't worry about because I know Jeff Stoutland got him and is going to get him right. Period. Goated. Absolutely. Send the horns to him. Yeah, man. Listen, if Tyler Steen was that bad, we would have cut him. Don't forget. If he was that bad, we would have cut him. So and let's not forget, man, he got another year under his belt. He got a year under his belt. That's the last position I'm worried about. Let me be honest with you. That's the last position I'm worried about. Maybe the Kansas City Chiefs should have been worried about that a little bit more. Yeah, man. Stoutland and Fangio University, damn right. Yeah, I got him on my list. Him and Jalen. Let's go past Jalen. We're gonna get back to Jalen in a minute, but yes. Look at the slimness, that is Jalen, that is Jordan Davis. We got to talk about that. We got to talk about the fact that he acknowledged the importance of not his play health, but just health in general. Because when you are somebody as big as he is, moving that weight around, you got to get it down. You got to get it down, or you'll be no good. You get the spurts. I remember that play. Was it last year or 23? Was it 23 or 24? He chased somebody down and got him out of bounds. Chased down the quarterback. I don't know who it was. I can't remember who it was. I can't remember what game, but he chased him down. And he got credited for the tackle because he got him out of bounds. And he was no more good for the rest of the game. he had shot his load on that play. He got him, but he didn't do nothing else for the rest of the game because it was like he was completely out of gas. Completely out of gas. Now, like, you got to understand something. In total, since we've had Jordan Davis has probably lost like 40 to 50 pounds, and he's still like 320, 330. Like, you done lost 30, 40 pounds, bro, and you still in the 330s? That is crazy. Like, people don't really understand how big he was. And now he looks like, and this is just my comp, he looks like he's in Lane Johnson type shape. As big as Lane Johnson is, for somebody as big as Lane Johnson is, to have abs is incredible to me. And that's where I don't know if Jordan Davis is showing abs, but he's got that level of slimness to him. And that will make you operate, move side to side, forward and back. It lets you do that a little bit easier. Heck, just imagine, all of y'all have been through an airport before. How quickly do you move through an airport when you ain't got no luggage? Now just imagine carrying 40 pounds of luggage, moving through that same airport. It's a little bit harder. I don't care if you got wheels on it or not. There's a difference. And carrying around that weight, it affects you. And now I think he's in good cardio shape. I think mentally he's there. So I'm expecting him and Jalen Carter, that tandem is going to be a problem. Those two right there, even in that picture, look how big Jordan Davis is. He's huge. Him and Jalen Carter, with Jordan Davis at his current size, they are a problem. So we got beef on both sides of the ball. We got elite level players on both sides of the ball. Jalen Carter is the best young defensive lineman in the league, period. You want to put Jared Verse up in there? I'll allow it. But Jalen Carter right now is off the charts. And now you put Moro Jomo right next to him. You put Jordan Davis right next to him, and Jordan Davis can stay on the field. Again, offensive line's got a decision to make. Are you gonna double team somebody? If you double team somebody, that means somebody coming through. And you better come through and figure out what the hell you're gonna do with 9-8. 9-8 is a problem. 9-8 is an Aaron Donald type problem. Aaron Donald said that. That ain't me making it up. Aaron Donald said that. So, yeah, I like Jared Verse, man. I like Jared Verse. Jared Verse stepped up. Much respect to him because guess what? He put it down. He ain't do a lot of talking or whatever talking he did do. And I remember Jalen Carter stepped to him when he came on the field or whatever. But guess what? Jared Verse had a hell of a game. He had a hell of a game. He put it down on the field. So much respect to Jared Verse. He's a problem and somebody that we got to deal with. But so is Jalen Carter. And glad he in the green. And I played with Clyde Simmons. You know what I mean? I played with the fridge. Oof. That's a bad man right there in the middle. He's a problem. He is a problem. Listen, Tiff Ojomo, me and Tone talked about this a couple weeks ago. We had him on the we didn't have him on the show. We talked about him last season. And what we talked about is Ojomo is very similar to Zach Bond. When Zach Bond was in New Orleans, Zach Bond was buried behind some other people that were getting paid a lot of money and were playing pretty well. So he got lost in the sauce. Numbers game, caught in the shuffle, all of those terms that we use, that's exactly what it means. You got somebody that is a good player, but because he's behind another good player who's under contract, he ain't gonna get on the field. But every time Zach Bond got on the field, he made things happen. That's what Moro Ojomo did last year. Milt Williams was on a tear last year. So Ojomo, there was no reason for him to play, but every time he got on the field, he let you know he was there. Now, he going to get a lot more opportunities. So, you look at that trio, Jalen Carter in the middle, Jordan Davis on one side, Ojomo on the other, and then you got Nolan Smith, and then you got Jalix Hunt, and then you got Jahad Campbell, and then you got Zach Bond. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with my defense. Y'all got a problem. Offense has got a problem. And they ain't going to know what to do with it. Because I still haven't seen anybody that can stop Jalen Carter. Nope. And now you got an in-shape Jordan Davis. And now you got a hungrier Jalix Hunt. Because coming from a small school, been there, done that. Coming from a small school, don't nobody expect nothing from you. You got to open people's eyes. Jalix Hunt did that. Nolan Smith coming back. Somebody got to be the leader of that defense. You're looking good, man. Oh, Drew. Thank you. Thank you, Drew, the Vanilla Gorilla. What's his name? What's his name, Drew, the dude from Nebraska? God. Put his name in the chat. Put his name in the chat. Yeah, Makuba, Andrew Makuba. But guess what, man? Listen, Sidney Brown is not going anywhere. I'm sorry. I know Drew Makuba can play, but I don't see Sidney Brown going anywhere. Nope. Ty Robinson, thank you. Thank you. Ty Robinson. Yeah, I want to see Drew Makuba in there, but guess what? Sid, you're going to have to play ball to get Sid Brown out of there. Sid Brown has been itching for an opportunity to play after he got hurt because Sid Brown was balling before he got hurt. So Sid Brown going to have a chip on the shoulder. So we'll see. So, yeah, big shout out to Coach Clint Hurt. That's a big man right there. Clint Hurt, boy, we need to suit him up. That's a big man. Clint Hurt showed me something early last year. I remember when we played the Saints and Jordan Davis was just going off and Clint Hurt had to kind of reel him in. Not too many coaches that can do that. You got to have somebody that's been in the trenches that can speak the language. And Clint Hurt can do that and got the size to match. So definitely a big shout out to Coach Clint Hurt. There's something to be said when you can speak the language, man. Something to be said for that. So let me see. Yeah, I'm looking forward to these two dudes. Offense has got a problem, man. Jordan Davis is he looks slim. He looked ready. And look, he ready to go, man. He's ready to go. Thank you for that, Quentin. Thank you for the $2 super chat. So my man Keely gonna get it done. Keely gonna get it done. So can't wait. Can't wait. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That gets into knowing your personnel. That's what that is. Knowing your personnel. You understand, and it wasn't necessarily him stopping them. What did he say? Do you remember what he said? Clint stepped in front and was like, I got it, coach. I got it. I got it, coach. Let him know. And Sirianni understood that and understands it better now than he did then. But even then, he backed up and Clint said what he had to say and did what he had to do. Because at the end of the day, whatever happens, and people got to remember this, whatever happens, you got to see what happens after the fact. Did it pay dividends or not? It paid dividends. So again, Clint Hurt can speak the language. You got to, in a situation like that, you got to talk to another defensive lineman. You got to talk to somebody that's been through the trenches. If you can't talk to another defensive lineman, at least talk to another player who's now a coach. That's why it is so important to have former players as coaches. That's why. Because you're always going to get somebody that goes over the top. And you got to be able to talk to them in a way they can understand it, to get through to them. Hard to do that when people are emotional. How many times have you tried to talk to somebody emotional and you can't get through to them? They don't snap out of it. So you got to be able to speak the language. Let me see. Where we at? Just saw something. Oh, Booker caught. Yeah, he getting overzealous. I'm not worried about that. He'll be going to FAFO University. You already know. Yeah, Ringo and Quinyon. I'm not worried about Quinyon. I like Quinyon because he's a quiet dude. Quinyon is a very quiet character type dude that puts in his work every day. He knows how good he is. He understands what is required of him, and he goes out and does it every day. Okay. Terrace Marshall. We got to watch him. I got to figure out. Matter of fact, I'm going to look at the schedule today because I am going to get up to camp one of these days. I want to get into it. I'm trying to figure out if they have a joint practice. I'm going to try to pull some connections because here's the thing. I want to get up there to get some content for you. But I know when you are at practice, they don't let you film practice. So we'll see. Yeah, but we don't worry about them. They on the outside looking in. So appreciate that, Delco. I like to tell people I could run the rock, 6.7 yards a carry. 5,552 yards for a career, and that is including that my redshirt sophomore year, I missed like 5 games because of a shoulder injury. So if I would have played that full season, I probably would have had over 6,000 yards as a career. So yeah, I could tote that rock, bro. So no negativity in the stream. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. I try to tell people, man, we can agree to disagree. Just keep it respectful. So it's all good. I try to keep that vibe up. So I appreciate that you noticed that. I appreciate that. Um, Q, people at this point, everybody is fiending for something, and that's something to talk about. I forget what the guy's name. He was on WIP, and he was kind of giving his explanation of why you keep stats in practice. It's just something to do. It's just something to talk about. And for the most part, it is factual, but it's up to each individual person how much weight you put on it, how much value you put on it. There, it's useful. It's useful because at the end of the day, if Keely Ringo has 10 plays and he got burned 6 out of those 10 plays, you're gonna have a problem. I know it's just camp and I know it's all of that type of stuff, but you can still see trends and you can still see how people are practicing and you can reasonably set your expectations. Now they'll go up and down and they'll change based on the longer practice goes around, joint practices, things of that nature. Because you might have somebody that looks trash in practice, then they go to a joint practice and they just beast everybody. So which weighs more? What they did against the people you see every day or what they did against another team? So you got to take it with a grain of salt. If Jalen Hurts throws 9 interceptions in a row, but he still goes out there and gets to the Super Bowl, that's not going to happen. But if he did have having a bad day and he throws 2 picks in red zone or something like that, people are going to pick that up. That's just the way they do it. They're trying to take it to the nth degree. Because I remember last year Jalen Hurts had 98 threw 98 passes before he threw a pick in practice, which is phenomenal. Which just means he was in tune, everybody was in sync, all of that type of stuff. And you couldn't say that about a lot of other people. But again, this goes back to how do you move the goalposts? You had 98 passes without a turnover in camp. That's great. Well, you had some people that threw a turnover every day in camp and still had good seasons in the regular seasons. So camp is where you go to make mistakes. You try different things new. You're putting people in places where they normally wouldn't be during the regular season. You're trying some things out. So a lot of times, those stats that people put out, you really, really got to have context on what they're doing. Right? So, hey, we're going in red zone. We're going in goal line. All right. We're on the 2-yard line. We're going there. We're going in goal line. Hold up. Rook. Get you in at guard. Let me see what you can do against Jalen Carter. Now, did the TV see the substitution? Does everybody keeping facts know the substitution? Or did you just see Jalen Carter blowing up the offensive line? Did you know there was a rookie in front of him? Like, what's the context of it? Because a lot of times they are experimenting. So you got to keep that type of stuff in context and really understand what's going on. So, that's why I say, Tiff, you already know, you got to pump your brakes on both sides of it. You got to pump your brakes. So now when they finally get to the joint practice, I think the joint practice is with Cleveland this year. When they finally get to that joint practice, when you see what you see, then you can go ham. But until then, just temper it, and just put the reasonable expectations to it. So, but all right, man, we've been rocking and rolling for about an hour, 20 minutes, man. So I appreciate y'all, man. Hopefully I held it down. Tone will probably be back next week, and we're going to get back to getting back. So excited for this year to get started. I'm going to have some more content this week. I am going to make a point to get back in the film room this week. Got some new stuff coming for you. Got to get this studying. Got to get the studying. Man. So hopefully everybody stays healthy. I hope you guys have a phenomenal Sunday as a start to this phenomenal week. Yeah, NFL is back, baby. We are here. I appreciate everybody in the chat. Chat was on fire today, man. Tiff, I appreciate you. Thank Bird Gang. Who else out there? Quentin. Question marks. I got to figure out who you are, man. Alex. Drew. Everybody, man. Everybody. Good job in the chat today, man. A lot of good questions, good conversations, good conversation. So I will be back. Fun fact, later on today, I will be back because the Indiana Fever have a game. So if you are a WNBA fan, I will most likely be streaming the Indiana Fever game, or I will be doing post game. So either way, I will have content to you for the WNBA. But tomorrow, I will be having some new content about our Philadelphia Eagles. So look forward to it. If you haven't, you know the rules. Please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. And we're going to make this thing grow because we're getting it done. We're going to bigger bigs and higher heights this year as we go back to the Super Bowl. You feel me? So we're going to get that done. But thank you guys for being a part of the squad, being a part of the team. We're going to keep grinding and growing. All right. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all weekend. Have a great start to the week. And I will see you when I see you. Much love. Peace. Go Birds.
In the city of Philly, where the birds take flight, Eagle swag on the rise each and every night. Tone and Marcus got the scoop ready to ignite. From the lanes of South Street to the Moore Street lights. Dashing like a running back, hitting every play. Blind guys in the zone, never led astray. Talking touchdowns, talking game day. Huddle around the mic, hear what they gotta say. I like an eagle soaring in the sky. Tone and Marcus always standing by. Bringing the heat, call it do or die. Philly squad.